into place. Now, this is the way to really live. Do each day all that can be done that day. You don't need to overwork or to rush blindly into your work, trying to do the greatest possible number of things in the shortest possible time. Don't try to do tomorrow's or next week's work today. It's not so much the number of things you do, but the efficiency of each separate action that counts. Gradually, you will find yourself increasing the number of acts and performing them all much more efficiently. To get the habit of success, and that's why successful people go from one success to another, because it's a habit with them. To get the habit of success, you need only to succeed in these small acts of each day. This makes a successful day. Enough of these and you have a successful week, month, year, and lifetime. This is why I say success is not a matter of luck, far from it. It can be predicted and guaranteed, and anyone can achieve it by following this plan. Almost before you realize it, you'll have achieved your goal. In looking back, you'll realize that your success was not attributable to any one day or week or month, but rather it was the consistent, unrelenting, successful succession of single days that turned the trick. This is the way a skyscraper, a home, or a human life is successfully built. One successful day at a time, and each day comprising a collection of successful acts. One successful act at a time. In order to advance to the place you've chosen, two things are necessary. One, that you keep your eye on your goal, and two, that you continue to grow from the standpoint of competence and effectiveness. Now, don't get impatient. Don't let the hundreds of little distractions which each day try to get you off course bother you. Pay no attention to them. Shake them off and stay steadily on the track. Concentrate on each act of the day from morning to night and do each successfully. Know full well that if each of your acts is performed successfully, or at least the greater majority of them, your life has to be successful. There's no other answer. There's no way to avoid it. The men and women who are certain to advance are the ones who become too big for their jobs and who have a clear concept of what they want to be, who know that they can become what they want to become, and who are determined to be what they want to be. Remind yourself at this time that people become exactly what they make up their minds to become. Are you too big for your present job? If it's obvious to you that you are, it's obvious to others. You know, people are not given promotions as a rule. They promote themselves by becoming too big for their jobs and by making up their minds exactly what bigger and better job or income they're shooting for. And this is done by taking one day at a time, one act at a time during each day. But how do we separate the important acts from the unimportant? Did you ever hear of the single idea for which a man was paid $25,000? It was worth every penny of it. The story goes that the president of a steel company had granted an interview to an efficiency expert named Ivy Lee. Lee was telling his prospective client how Lee's firm could help him do a better job of managing the company, when the president broke in to say something to the effect that he wasn't at present managing as well as he knew how. He went on to tell Ivy Lee that what was needed wasn't more knowing, but a lot more doing. He said, "We know what we should be doing. Now, if you can show us a better way of getting it done, I'll listen to you and pay you anything within reason you ask." Well, Lee then said that he could give him something in 20 minutes that would increase his efficiency by at least 50%. He then handed the man a blank sheet of paper and said, "Write down on this paper the 6 most important things you have to do tomorrow." Well, the man thought about it and did as requested. It took him about 3 minutes. Lee then said, "Now number them in the order of their importance to you and to the company." Well, that took about 5 minutes. And then Lee said, "Now put the paper in your pocket. And the first thing tomorrow morning, take it out and look at item number 1. Don't look at the others, just number 1, and start working on it. And, if you can, stay with it until it's completed. Then take item number 2 the same way, then number 3, and so on until you have to quit for the day. Don't worry if you've only finished 1 or 2. You'll be working on the most important ones. The others can wait. If you can't finish them all by this method, you could not have finished them with any other method. And without some system, you'd probably take 10 times as long to finish them, and might not even have them in the order of their importance. Do this every working day," Lee went on. "After you've convinced yourself of the value of this system, have your men try it. Try it as long as you like, and then send me your check for whatever you think the idea is worth." The entire interview hadn't taken more than a half hour. In a few weeks, the story has it that the company president sent Ivy Lee a check for $25,000 with a letter saying the lesson was the most profitable from a money standpoint he had ever learned in his life. And it was later said that in 5 years this was the plan that was largely responsible for turning what was then a little-known steel company into one of the biggest independent steel producers in the world. One idea, the idea of taking things one at a time in their proper order, of staying with one act until it's successfully completed before going on to the next, of living one day at a time. For the next 7 days, try the $25,000 idea in your life. Tonight, write on a slip of paper the 6 most important things you have to do. Then number them in the order of their importance. And tomorrow morning, go to work on number 1 and stay with it until it's successfully completed. Then move on to number 2 and so on. When you've finished with all 6, get another piece of paper and repeat the process. You'll be amazed and delighted at the order it brings into your life and at the rate of speed with which you'll be able to accomplish the things that need doing, in the order of their importance. Now, this simple but tremendously effective method will take all the confusion out of your life. You'll never find yourself running around in circles wondering what to do next. Remember, as you do, to live the best you can one day at a time. You need not worry about tomorrow or the next day or what's going to happen at the end of the month. One day at a time, handled successfully, will carry you over every hurdle. It will solve every problem. You can relax in the happy knowledge that successful acts make successful days, which in turn build a successful life. This is the kind of unassailable logic no one can argue with. It'll work every time, for every person. The reason for writing down what you consider only the most important things to do is obvious. Handling each act during the day successfully is important to the degree of the importance of the acts themselves. Doing a lot of unnecessary things successfully can be pretty much of a waste of time. Make certain that the acts you take the time to do efficiently are important acts, acts which move you ahead steadily toward your goal. So often youngsters in school worry about a passing grade. They think of all they'll have to do before the end of the school year. Following this course of action, they can stop worrying completely and count on excellent grades. Freshmen in high school and college are frequently plagued by doubts as to whether or not they'll be able to successfully complete the 4 years ahead and graduate. 4 years seem like such a long time to them, almost forever. And this thought sometimes leads to a sort of giving up, a fear.
All right, guys, what's going on? Let's go ahead and get the chat flooded with flames, ones. It's a lot of good things going on. The markets have been blessing us beautifully. I know last week I hadn't updated us a lot when it comes to the zones, but just know this zone got broken over and over and over and over again. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm about to go over and show you what the zones did early on in the week. It was kind of slow. Anybody new, welcome. I'm glad for you to be here. I'm excited for us to keep doing this journey. Anybody that's been rocking with us the whole way, glad you've been here this whole entire time, trusting us, being here with us. So what I want to go ahead and do is click right over right now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video that we were just playing. So what I want to show you guys is we're going to go down. We get alerted on the 15-minute chart. I want you to go ahead, write that in your notes if this is your first time. If you didn't know, we get alerted on the 15-minute chart. Meaning, if you would have got into this trade at 2:15 this morning, you would be up over 600 pips right now. But if we go back to last week, and you can kind of see my horizontal gray line, my vertical gray lines. Last Tuesday was the 27th. So let's go back to the 27th. We marked our zone up on the 27th. It kind of consolidated and we broke here on Thursday. And we wind up getting about 600 pips again. So if you would have just took these 2 trades, you'll be up 1,200 pips on Bitcoin. I don't know if you can see that. Break and close. When I say that, break and close, that is what our horizontal line alerts are saying, is they're break and close. You can see it just expired today. That's funny. Let's put October 30th. So now every time that these candles does this break and close, not a wick through, but when the candle actually closes right here, we're able to get into this trade and, take profit. It's a scalp. We're going to be fast. So this morning you could have got in, boom, and then took it all the way up. You could have put your stop loss in profit. You could have maximized your, minimized your risk, maximize your profit, whatever you needed to do to make sure you secure the bag. And now we take 2 trades. We take Ethereum and we take Bitcoin. Let's look at this. Ethereum kind of played around all week, but it did give us some motion to the downside. So if we go back all the way to the 27th, we were inside the market. This was our zone. When we marked it up last week on this day, we were in our zone. And what happened? The very next day, 1309, all the way down to 1267. That was over 400 pips. We take it all the way down, 1253. That's almost 500 pips you could have secured, almost 600 pips you could have secured on that move alone. And what do? We keep playing the zone. You can play this zone all week long. It came back in here, broken close, come down. That would have been another about 200, 300 pip move. Here, broken close to the upside, another 200, almost 100, 200 pip move. Same thing. It kind of played around at the zone, and this shows it's a good area of support. Same thing. You could have took profit here. Wait for it to come back and reject. Took profit again at 1262. Almost 700, almost 600 pips, 500 pips. And now we're here. So we're looking at some of the same exact zones that we're going to be in this week. So how do we get these zones? You come over to the Swipe Coin Scalper, and Sean is actually about to go over this. We got a guest. He's going to come in and go over this, how you can use the break and close above this horizontal box to take this trade. Or if you're get on this scalper, granted, I didn't do any of these. This is here just because I have access to it. I didn't put these arrows. I didn't put this box. I didn't put this break and close above confirms the idea. I did none of this. But now if we get on here and we're past this, we're going to learn how to find us a setup from this area, where the market is today. And we're going to do that directly on Go Live. Now, if this is your first time here, you need to come over to our registration page. You can see it right up here, virtualcryptoparty.wealthybeliefworldwide.com. So what this does is when we come over here, you're able to go ahead and put your information in. When you put your information in, you'll be able to see, you can download the apps to be able to download MT4. If you have iOS, and I'm gonna actually change this. If you have iOS, I'm gonna show you a way you can download it on your computer. So then you can go ahead and trade using your web browser. But you get your tickets. And when you get your tickets, what you're gonna do is you're gonna be right here inside with us, being able to go ahead and trade live. You'll be able to get all the sauce. If you don't know how to use MT4, come right here and click learn how to enter trades on MT4. When you do that, you'll be able to go ahead, get locked and loaded. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right over here to Sean. He's about to give us our zones. And we're going to go ahead, take things to the next level. And I'll see you at the back end of this. Let me refresh. So if you're brand new and don't know how to get to it, scroll down, click on DCX. When you click on DCX, you'll be able to see Sean. And this is how you get access to all of his sessions, all of his recordings, more than just the zones you get today. See, we get free zones here today, but you get way more when you have access. So I'll let you watch this video and go ahead and capitalize. I'll catch you later.
Time frames. Now imagine all that in real-time updates through direct chats with expert DCX master educators. You could even fire up one of the brand new crypto games in Swipecoin. Want more? DCX is switching on exclusive access to the new DCX Go Live educator, Jason Brown, a Chairman 750 of the I Am Master Academy. He's here to teach the awesome power of crypto like no one else can. What are you waiting for? This could be your future. Grab it. With DCX, the power to learn and earn cryptocurrency can be in your hands. The possibilities are limited only to your imagination. Tell me, what do you want your future to be?
Yes, sir. Can I get a DCX in the chat if you excited right now? Can I get a DCX in the chat if you excited right now? Let me know, 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 let me know. I kind of finally fixed my lighting. I've been trying to fix my lighting since I moved here. I don't know if it's because I do it a session maybe an hour before. Is it the warm lighting? I've been trying to figure out. I even finally started adding things. I told y'all I'm working on all of these things, right? Working on all these things. It's a little different because when you had a glass like literally a glass window behind you. You didn't have to do all that. That was literally the whole thing, and you just gotta. It was pretty easy. But now you reflecting lighting from one area to another area to 3 different areas was something that I had to really work on. But you know, we getting there. So, anyways, drop DCX in the chat if you're excited. Today's Scalper Tuesday, and you know we're gonna go crazy and fast. Today's a fast session. Hello. We're gonna pop off with ETH first. For my smaller accounts, 300 $125. But I do want to talk about a win though. Hello, this was the win yesterday. It broke off, closed right here, broke, closed right here. I mean, come on. Can I get some flames if you caught a buy in the past 24 hours? Talk to me. Let me check the Gullard chat. We got DCX translation in the building. Was good. So it was good seeing the translation crew. Today's a fast session. Did anyone catch? If you catch a buy in the past 24 hours, let me know. All right. Okay, we got some people that caught some buys in the past 24 hours. I love that. All right, if you did not, let me show you. Basically, we did a structure. I know a lot of people usually come on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but let me show you right here. This was beautiful. Break and close came here. A correction, and this was it, dog. This was it. I mean, this took you at least 300 pips, right? Came right back down, but it gave you at least 300 pips. Like, come on. And there was another possible re-entry. Came back here, and you could have at least got up to almost 400 pips. Hello. Like, what? Come on now. Yes, sir. I mean, you should still be riding it. To be honest, you should still be riding it. So the session yesterday was in profit. Shout out to that. Break and close and a correction. This is, if you are looking, and we're about to soon start ETH, but I mean, if you are looking, when do I get in? You want to get in off of impulse. It closed above 19,815. It literally closed at 19,833. That's like money. I mean, oh, let me not say that. That's like what we're looking for, right? And it was a correction, came back up. I mean, why would you not jump on this? This is literally this is the sign. I mean, what? And Supertrend agreed with it. Literally. Anyways, but that should have helped you from the session. So yesterday's session was good. So let's see what we got. If you're excited to be able to get something off this session, let me get a DCX in the chat. Let's wake this chat up. Hello. All right, we're going to pop off with ETH crew. Looks like it's slight consolidation. Looks like we got slight consolidation. And I already dropped that. We're gonna this is a fast session, so if you are a beginner, I would watch my yesterday call or go on my favorites and just watch just watch one of my favorites. We're gonna do, looks like we're gonna do resistance zone first. We're gonna do resistance zone first. Hold on for me real quick. Woo! Sorry about that. Had to run and get something real quick. All right, so let's refresh the chart. All right. I was running. All right. Felt like I was sprinting real quick. All right, so we're gonna pop off with ETH right here, 620. The next close is in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. We're gonna do the steps, step by step, and let's get this thing going. Someone said, "What are you doing, Sean?" I had to get some real quick. I just had to get some. There was something at my door that I had to get, and they came at this time. But anyways, move candlesticks to a line chart. Right here. And now we're going to find the resistance zone. Remember, we're looking at the next break and close. I mean, it's been climbing, I will say. So we're going to have to anticipate it a little bit more. The 50 EMA is at 1352. So traditionally, you may look at this and say, oh, well, this is a structure. It is. But we need it to be at least past 1.6. We need to at least be past 1.367. Remember, it has to at least be 150 pips away. Even if it's a little close, like, 140, that's understandable. But you do not want it too close to the 50 EMA because you can get caught in some wildfire. So we're going to have to lead it up a little bit more. And we're going to find that next resistance. Look at that. There's something at 1.368, but that's only one. I'm going to trust this to put a horizontal line, but it doesn't mean I trust it to be a resistance zone. That's two different things, right? You can trust something to be a horizontal line, but you can't trust it to necessarily be a resistance or support zone. That being said, we're gonna validate that. So I have 1.368. We're gonna look back and see, does it make sense? Or does it need to be a little edited? Okay. Let's look at it a little bit higher. Maybe even really 1370, 1369, 1370. Does it make sense there? Basically. Put it in between that. Support structure here too, around 1369. $170, perfect. All right, it's good enough for me. So I'm gonna put this right here in place of the question mark. Is there anybody that is a ETH fan? I mean, ETH is for all accounts. I mean, I would only imagine we have a lot of people that are ETH fans, right? I know I have BTC, but ETH is for all accounts, right? Hello. Three. Oh, yeah, I was about to say, bro. I said, bro, that's BTC. I was like, BTC. If you're an ETH fan, let me know in the chat. All right, so we already got the resistance zone right there. I see some ETH fans. Okay. All right, so 1374, it's gonna be what we're looking for. Remember, when you have a resist, the colored line is always gonna be a resistance zone. Then on top of that, you're gonna make sure that you add 50 pips to it when it comes to ETH. BTC is gonna be 100 pips. You do that because this is basically what your break and close point is going to look for. What you're looking for on a break and close. This is just your resistance zone line. Remember, you don't only get in on the resistance zone line, but you get in on a good break and close. Like, this is the picture you're looking for. So it's not like, okay, I marked my line. If it even touches past it, I'm good. Yes and no. Like, you still want a good break and close, and organically, the better the trader, the more you're gonna notice what's a good break and close overall. The better you are as a trader, the longer you've traded, you're gonna see a good break and close, and you can be like, all right, this is good. But at the same time, you know, like when you're sometimes you get a little bit, you anticipate it a little bit harder. Sometimes you're being too aggressive. Sometimes you're being money hungry. You're thinking about things that you want to spend the money on. And sometimes you tempt yourself to get in when you shouldn't, and you don't look at what a good break and close is, and then you get in on a 1370. That's like right here, right? Price literally price hits it all the time and comes back down. Sometimes price will break through a little bit and come back down. That's common. So, I mean, just be mindful of that. There's a reason why we do that, right? So let's look at supports. Y'all can drop your supports in the chat. Let's see if your supports match mine. I'm gonna do we already know the 50 EMA is at 1352, 51. So just be mindful. Okay, we see structure at 1345. That's 60 pips. Too close, right? Way too close. I'm just like, 1341. It's tempting. That's too aggressive. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably do something around the 1330. 1330. I mean, that's 220 pips away. That's not that bad. Granted, I won't lie. You could find some sells, a little bit aggressive sells. Probably could. You probably could find some a little bit aggressive sells in the meantime. But I do want you to know, this is pretty clean. Talk to me. This is pretty clean for the most part. It looks like we have a little breaks when it was a little consolidation around the 1321. Even 1320. right? We got a couple of breaks around the 1320 area. Looks like that. But 1330 is really good. So I'm going to put that here. And remember, when I'm doing the minus 50 pips, it's not telling you, it's just telling you that's where the break and close should be at, right? It should be below that, right? For support. Break and close on the resistance should be above that. So do remember, when I'm saying all these things, I'm just talking about the break and close when we do alerts. Oh, I didn't switch this. I gotta start switching these on calls now from what I did yesterday. I actually switched these up. I need to put in my notes. I think switching it up this way is actually a little bit better. $130, and that makes it 1325.0. That is the potential ETH sell idea. This is the potential ETH buy idea. These are two separate things. I mean, this is pretty clean. Hello. Let's get some flames in the chat if you were able to get some sauce from that. I'm going to color this a little different from what I usually color it. Ooh, and the ETH is basically done. Let's see. Oh, I actually like that 1328 though. Channel 5. We've been eye to eye in the past 2 days. Channel 5, that was really nice. I like that. 1340 though, let me relook at that. I think that was, yeah, I almost looked at 1340. I actually was very tempted to go with 1340, but my only problem with 1340 is just a little too close to the 50 MA, and it gets real close to our resistance zone. It's just a little too close, you know what I mean? Granted, you're a scalper, you know what I mean? If you, at the end of the day, you anticipate, like, you know what, I like this, you know what I mean, and you want to be able to, you know, scalp that, you can. So let's look at some potential target zones for our support zone and our resistance zone. Let's do that real quick. So we're looking at 1325. Now let's look at some soft target zones. So we're looking at that support. $13.12 a little too small. It's not bad around 1306, even 1305. I think 1305 would not be that bad. And then honestly, I mean, even though I was saying that's a snack, why not just go for the whole entire meal? Why not? That's not that far. That's like 300 pips. It's not that bad. Not that bad. And then you can even look at 1276. Could be another target zone. And 1256. I mean, this is just outliners. I'll leave that one. So you got this one right here as a target zone 1, a target zone 2, and a target zone 3. Pretty good structures right there for a support. Woo! Let's look at the resistance zones. But basically, ETH is basically done. We're going to clean up some things. Let's look at the TPs for resistance zones. Whoo! ETH is now done. So let's look at TPs for resistance zones. I mean, this should be pretty easy. 1396. That's an easy one, and definitely in the 1416 realm. 1396, 1416. I would even go a little bit higher in a 1425. And when I'm looking for these, these are like bonus things that I do on these calls. And I want you to know that I'm basically mapping out your chart for zones till the next time I really see you. And at this point, they move by zones. They move in like groups. They're like fishes, right? They move in zones easily. And even 1481, just like that. Hello. Talk to me now. Wow. Let me know. Can I get a DCX in the chat for this? Can I get a DCX in the chat for this? Are we not cooking today? And if you need help on where's the numbers are, I could label these, but at the same time, I do want you to know. Ooh, that's not what I meant to do. I do want you to know they're right here in the colored. TV stands for Trading View. Let me get a DCX in the chat for this. Love it. Love the other zones. Thank you, Sean. I love the energy. Right? Hello. So while y'all writing this down, I'm just going to talk about everything, at least give you a chance to write everything down. So the resistance zone that we have right now is 1369. Price is already at 1364. That means price in the next 9 minutes could close at 6:45 p.m. Central. Again, whatever you are in your time zones, it doesn't necessarily matter. It's just wherever your 45 is at. But at the end of the day, your hour is going to be different from my hour, right? I hope I don't have to explain time zones. But so I do with 50 pips to ensure we got a break and close. So this is the color of the line is I do not want to necessarily start labeling these with, and I used to, but it makes it confusing when you see multiple things. So understand the zone at the end of the day is our outliner, but you need price to break above it or price to break below it, right? And 1369, you got it priced at 1374 around here. It gives us space. So anything after that is a break and close, right? At that point. Now that is a potential ETH. What are these other lines for? You've asked for TPs, right? How do I find a good TP? These are good TPs. I gave you 4. And to be honest, you may say, Sean, I don't like 1397. It's too close to when I get in. I'm going to just use 1424 as my TP1. Good for you, right? Good for you. I mean, you could adjust these. Some of y'all don't have to use the first target zone you see, right? So, I mean, the support zone I put here is the TP I put for the support zone is pretty big, right? It's bigger than I did for the buy one. That being said, I don't expect you to ignore that. I expect you to use it, but I can see how you may not use 1397. I can honestly see that. And if you don't want to use that, or you feel like 1424 is too far, maybe 1416 could be a little bit better. So if you want to write that down, if you don't think 1397, you think 1397 is a little too far, you could do 1416. You know, that's another alternative option. If 1397 ends up being not too far, too close. Sorry, I apologize. Right? So these are just additional TPs that are actually zones, and they're more realistic, right? More realistic. At the end of the day, I'm a realistic educator. I want you to get realistic results. Hello. I mean, can I get an amen for that? Right? I want you to get realistic results. Wait for the break and close. Guys, you don't want to get in off an impulse. You want to get in off a correction. If it breaks and close, at that point, you shouldn't be thinking, I'm in right now. You should be thinking, it's ready. Now, I'm just going to wait for the finishing touches. That is how you should be thinking. Why is it when we see breaking closes, we're already thinking the fish, the chicken, everything. You thinking the steak is already made. You like, guys, it's almost made. It's basically, it's literally right there. Give it just a little bit longer. Like, it's gonna be good for you. But it hurts when you realize, I ate the chicken, but it could have been in the oven or in my air fryer maybe for 5 more minutes. I just pulled the cake, maybe, or you cook your dish. If I would have just left it a little longer on the stove, maybe it would have been a little bit better, right? Do you understand when you get in too early, you're literally picking my dad loved the chicken barbecue chicken I used to make, right? He loved eating it like before it's ever done. And I used to get so irritated because I said, that's disgusting, right? Like, you can do that, but the rest of the chicken is still gonna get made. And every single time he sees it made, he's like low-key salty, right? I want you to know, stop getting in early. You don't have to. Like, it's not made for you to do that, right? I mean, I'm a scalper, and I'm telling you as a scalper to scalpers, right? Scalping, getting as much as you can, but you have a legitimate thing, right? Cool. SLs. So SLs really depend on, to be honest, as a scalper, a lot of scalpers, I don't say this often, it's Scalper Tuesday, but a lot of scalpers don't put SLs. They know when to get out because they're not greedy, right? I'm not telling you to trade without SLs. That's not what Sean's saying. Sean, educator, said that. Don't turn off your computer and say Sean said that, and there's probably someone that did. That's not what I'm saying. That being said, SLs are such a fragile thing when it comes to scalping versus swing trading. It's just, think about the whole perspective, the realm of what we're doing versus swing trading. Swing trading is slow motion, projection, and it's slower. Scalping is, you get as much as you can. So that being said, that's why you shouldn't be blowing your account on scalping. To be very honest with you, I like to put my SL below my zones on a resistance zone every single time, unless it closes like ridiculously high and then it's too big, right? I naturally always like to put my SLs below my resistance for resistance zone, write that down, and I like to put my SLs organically above my supports for sells, organically. Even though I do that, when I do get in and I'm about to do that, I do count how much it is. If it's pushing past 400 pips, which on here is gonna look like 40, right? I'm gonna say, I'm not feeling that, right? I'm not feeling that. So a good example would be, let's just say, you looking at 1374, we need to do BTC like now, but we're gonna do that. Let's just say we get to 13, I'm just talking about parameters right now. Let's just say it closes at 1390 for some random reason, right? Let's say it closes at 1390 or you got in at 1390, right? Very possible to happen. Let's just say that. And even still, 1362 would not be a bad SL. That's actually great, right? That's a good SL, right? But let's just say you got in at 1414. And then you're like, oh, Sean said put an SL below my resistance zone. Okay, 1414 in here, that's about, I'm not gonna count the exact amount, but that's past 500 pips, dog. Or it is. That's too big. You know what I mean? I may move this up a little bit and relook at where I'll put my SL because it was too, the impulse was too big, the close was. More than likely, I'm waiting for a retracement anyway, but still, that just, either way. You know what I mean? So I do my SLs. I do my SL below my resistance zone. I do my SLs above my support zone. Because at the end of the day, if price is going to come right back inside the zone that I really originally was, well, sorry. I do, yeah, right here. Right? Below here, above here. If price was to come right back inside the zone, I'm not tripping. This was the main duh. I mean, what am I going to do? Fight the chart? Like, it happens, right? Live to trade another day. Simple. All right, I talked about parameters on a Scalper Tuesday call. Y'all should be very impressed. Gave y'all time to do everything. Ooh, let me put this on TradingView. Let me put this on TradingView. I did not. And I gave y'all a chance to understand parameters. I did a lot. I think we talked about a lot. Thank you for preaching, not getting in too early. Please explain time zones. What do you mean explain time zones? I mean, just look on a map. I mean, we're in a, like, I don't think you need me to explain time zones. Just look at a map. I mean, bro, I'm Central Time, and you could just place whatever time zone you at, and it's nothing. The minutes is the same. What you right now have 44 in your minute right now, right? You're about to be at 45. It doesn't necessarily matter the exact hour you're at. So it's just when it's global, sometimes I think we overthink certain things. All right, 1374. We're doing BTC right now, so prepare for BTC. So you can start dropping your resistance zones for BTC. You can now drop your resistance zones for BTC. And support zone 1325. But if you going on TradingView, you put in a zone, I would put at least 1374 for a crossing up. So go to your chart, should be products, chart, get to ETH, click alert, and do crossing up for 1374. Everyone should at least do that, right? So now let's go into BTC. BTC is for $200 and $250 plus accounts, right? We have 30,361. Mark, I hope you didn't do yours too close. You know you do that all the time, right? All right, I think we found a structure point. I mean, this looks stopped, but we'll see how far and how close this is. So let's look at this. You said 20,361. How is that possible? Price is, oh, you're doing it now. Oh, actually, I see. Okay, move candlesticks to a line chart. Where's the 50? Oh, interesting. Yeah. I agree. 20,363. I'll probably do 20,365 personally. I may just go around that, but yeah, like 20,365. BTC is actually basically almost ready. Maybe we might see a break and close at 7 o'clock p.m. Central. So please have your clocks ready. 7 o'clock p.m. Central looks like we may see our first break and close on BTC. Not ETH. Maybe ETH may shoot up a little bit. We need ETH to shoot up to 1374. I mean, it's getting close to resistance zone. It's even though it breaks resistance zone, remember, we still need a break and close above a good break and close. It's not just the breaking through a resistance zone. Like, you know what I mean? So please remember to don't, again, be anticipating it too much and too aggressively. Guys, like I'm telling you, I see it passing through the line, and I'm not jumping like, oh man, yada 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 yada. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about, okay, let me make sure that it's not trying to play me. Hello, like think about it. When you're talking to someone, you're gonna make sure they're not trying to play you, right? So when you see a break, the first thing in your mind is like, let me see if it's trying to play me. Just think like that. I promise you, you would be, let me not guarantee anything, you have a better chance, better probability of being more successful. And that's the goal, right? Is the goal to be more successful, right? If the goal is to be more successful, let me get a DCX in the chat. Talk to me, right? The goal is, right? So the biggest thing is, remember, we don't wait just for breaks. We wait for a good break and close. Sometimes if the break and close is too big, what do you wait for? There's two R's. Well, one R, another, one R and one C. If the break is too aggressive, if the close is too big, you wait for what? A retracement back down to that zone and come back up to whatever your trading view alert is. Or you wait for a correction. We never get in off impulses. Like these type of things you have to remember as a scalper, because I've seen people that can mark up a chart, but they're horrible on trading it, right? And the best way to understand these things is discipline, right? Discipline. I'm thinking I'm teaching trading psychology today, right? Cool. All right, so let's look at, let's actually just do 650, about to be 650. Let's look at some TPs. We're already about to have this, so let's look at TP. Let's look at 20. Oh yeah, that's easy money. I mean, that's, you know, I hate, there's certain words I say that could almost come off like, it's not what I mean. It's just, you know, it's just certain words I say that it's not even close to being that. It's just how I talk like that. It's just some words I say. All right, even kid. Oh, yeah, these are good. This is a good one. These are very good ones. I wouldn't. That's not that deep. I didn't mean to do that. But it's cool. It's cool. It's not that deep either. Cool. These are not bad. This is a pretty good amount. Pretty good amount. I mean, I'm seeing y'all Thursday, so I mean, I would mark up more. I mean, I could mark up one more, but I don't know if the market will jump to 1,500 pips by Thursday. I'll do that just in case. Hey, man, say, man. If that, I mean, hey, man, say, man. Looks like we got a break, do we? Or is price rejecting it? What do we have here? Oh, just rejecting it. It's cool. Because ETH went down a little bit too. Looks like price is chilling in our structure zone. All right, so we at least have, ooh. Today I'm gonna make sure I put this in my notes. Definitely gonna make sure I put this in my notes. I like it better this new way I've been doing it, instead of I want to word it differently. Just changing up the order so it looks a little bit cleaner. All right, cool. How about, could we possibly bump into resistance zone and turn into a reversal potentially? Love trading psychology. Please share more about it when you can. I love it. Yes, sir, Mark Sanders. Okay, but this is a good question. Could we possibly bump into resistance zone? Okay, so I do mark up good resistance zones where, especially these two, could actually be next break and closes for buys. They're pretty far, maybe not this one, sorry, but this one definitely. I will say, always review the zone that I mark up and see, could it be a good break and close? Like, if you wasn't getting in and price was to break and close through it, could it be a good break and close? If it is, that resistance zone is strong. You could use those as reversals. I have nothing against reversals. I have nothing against trading reversals. But the thing I always recommend is, if you're going to do a reversal off a buy, it needs to be a bearish engulfing. It needs to, like, and also Super Trend needs to agree with it. And I would use the 50 EMA as my target area for like a TP1. If it keeps passing through, then basically the support zone is your TP2. Hello, right? That's how I do reversals. But I definitely need a bearish engulfing. Like, I mean, this is actually a very good bearish engulfing right here, right? But I mean, it only went down till like 50 pips and floated. I mean, it gave bearish engulfing, but it consolidated. Even still, this candle is not a good candle. That is not a good candle. If you know your candlestick Bible, this is a candle of indicating of a reversal. So bearish engulfing showed good signs. Even this candle showed good signs. And you may want it to see a second, but I mean, you see a candle like this, and then you see a candle like that, you're not anticipating a sell anymore if you really know how to trade. And I'm intrigued to see if Super Trend went cross green around here again. But anywho, you just got to be careful with certain signs. But reverse trading is definitely a lot more challenging in different ways. All right, what time is it? 6:54. Drop y'all supports. So let's see what we got here. So 50 EMA is 20,134. Move the candlesticks to a line chart. Blue. 50 EMA is obviously, if it ever gets down here, it would be a sell area, but it's in a buy area. So we on step 3, marking up a support. Remember, we're looking at these points, especially for supports is the points. It's similar to what you see in this picture. So I'm looking at these points. So overall, your picture should almost look similar, but it's not. Sometimes it may be half of the, it's not always going to look as pretty, but sometimes it may look as pretty. But it won't always look as pretty like that. But you do want to be cautious with a 50 EMA is that you want it 200 pips away. So, I mean, that's like in the 800s, at least, right? That's at least around 20,850, at least around there. But let's see if we can have anything that makes sense. Oh, I like this. You have this right here. You have this indent and you have structure. And it's right on, I almost said right on the money again. And it's literally 200 pips exactly. 19,848. It's about 500 pips away from our resistance zone. I don't love that, but you know, I don't love that, but we move. All right, cool. It's pretty. These two are pretty tight. We're gonna look for another one. You can already see some stuff here, but you want to give self space. Oh, 19,455. I like that. So what I'm also looking for is an amount that I want. So 300 pips is always something I'm looking for, right? For TPs. If I can find more. So I'm starting in my mind, I'm looking for really 200 to 400 pips is what I'm looking for. Really 250 on Bitcoin, right? So I'm kind of starting from whatever. Ooh, my bad. I think it was 850. Whatever I know my support zone is technically. When we put this in here, minus 100, 750, right? That's already giving us 300. Granted, spreads may not do that. Spreads may do 200. I mean, you may get 200 from that, right? And it's not the end of the world, but I'm not stopping there. I'm always going to still look for more. And I'm looking for basically a zone that agrees for the most part. It doesn't have to be a super zone like what we're looking for when we do our sells and buys. But you just want something that at least makes sense. If someone wants to look at your chart, they say, oh, I can see how it retested this line multiple times, right? It doesn't have to be a super strong, like, okay. I don't know if y'all watch House of the Dragons, right? I don't know. It's Game of Thrones. I don't know if y'all watch that. Maybe it's just, right? You may watch my Instagram and be like, Sean watches House of the Dragons. Yes, I do. I love it. I absolutely love it. I started from Games of Thrones. When I saw dragons in Games of Thrones, I absolutely caught all the way up. I watched like season 1 to like I think it was like 4. When I don't know when it started. I'm not that like I don't know the exact details of like the Games of Thrones, but I know way more details of House of the Dragons because I actually started it organically. Versus Game of Thrones, I was just trying to catch up. All right, cool. Anyways, there are multiple dragons, right? But there's the Holy Grail dragon, the Balerion. There's the Vega, right? I try to talk to you know. I don't want to ruin the movie. I don't want to ruin the show if you haven't watched it. Let me not say anything more. I'm gonna say something that could have ruined the show on this call. But it almost was on my tongue of the person that was about to approach it. Anyways, Vega, right? That's the biggest dragon in House of Dragons besides Balerion, but you already know, if you know, right? That being said, there's still, the Sea Smoke, the Cyrex. There's still all the other dragons, right? So when you're looking at this, I'm pointing out structure zones, so I'm pointing out smaller ones, right? When I'm pointing out smaller ones, I mean, they're not the Holy Grail, they're not the Viega, or they're not the Balerion, but they're still, dragons. They're still support zones, but they're not necessarily the ones I would recommend maybe for a sell if price came to it. So understand that's what I'm doing when I look for these TPs, right? Pretty simple. I don't know if you watch House of the Dragons, or even if you watched that, you may have thought that was really cool. If you don't, you may think I'm a nerd. But it's nothing wrong with being a nerd. I absolutely love House of the Dragons. But anyways, all right. I like this one too. I like the 19,153 area. I love that. This is a lot of support here. Some resistance zones here. Some supports here. Good. Oh, there's a big one right here that captures a lot of stuff. 18,943. I can probably even go for that one instead of the one above, but I mean that's like 500 pips. I mean you could, but that's like pretty big. And I'll probably just go bigger here around 18,673. And I mean, I don't want to do too much because at the end of the day, it may not even break all of these. All right. And now the chart is marked up. Hello, 7 o'clock, cooking. I found the lighting. I found the light. We're good. I hope you enjoyed this session. Hope you thought this was Candlestick Bible, Let me get some flames in the chat if you enjoyed this call. I'm going to put this. And if you have any questions, you can also ask. Let me know. I will be back for Scalper Thursday. I promise you we did about 16 at the least. We probably did 20 zones today, to be honest, but I didn't even count it.
So guys, that is what you have to do. That is what it takes to be able to go ahead and be successful. Get the zones locked in. Go over to your trading view, mark it up, put your zones on there. And if you're somebody who wants to really have access to this every single day, this is something you really want to go ahead and do and get access. Scroll down and go to get your starter package now. Now, prices have recently increased, but it is still a massive discount from the value. I usually work with people for $3,000 every 12 months, and this is something that's still extremely discounted. But today you can get started for a month for $199. Go ahead, click nobody invited me, but I want to learn more. Let's go ahead and get things started, and let's make sure you get on the next call. I see you guys next Tuesday. Let's go ahead and attack it, and let's go ahead and